Jubosmiles on screens, a tale they weave, ancient
They
echoes.
say you never know who will change your life. And sometimes it is the person you least expect. A rich man walked into the supermarket to grab a few things, but walked out with a story that would break his heart and change everything. Let me tell you what happened that day. It was just a regular afternoon. Mr. Edward, a wealthy businessman, known for his luxury cars and designer suits, stopped by a local supermarket to pick up snacks for a meeting. He had no idea he was about to meet someone who would shake his entire world. As he walked through the baby products section, something caught his eye. A little girl, no older than 10, stood nervously at the corner, holding a tiny baby in her arms. She looked tired, hungry, and scared. Her clothes were old. Her eyes were full of silent pleading. She hesitated for a while, then slowly walked up to Mr. Edward. "Excuse me, sir," she said softly, her voice almost shaking. "I'm really sorry to disturb you, but I need baby food for my brother. He hasn't eaten since morning. I promise to pay you back when I have money." Mr. Edward froze. This wasn't something he heard every day. He looked around, expecting to see her mother or a guardian nearby. But there was no one, just her and a tiny baby boy sleeping in her arms. "Where are your parents?" he asked gently. She lowered her eyes. "My mom died 2 months ago. Daddy left before the baby was born." Silence. In that moment, Mr. Edward felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. A deep pull in his heart. He bent down to her level and asked, "What is your name?" "Anita," she replied, "and this is my brother, Junior." He looked at Junior, thin, pale, and clearly hungry. Mr. Edward stood up slowly, then said, "Come with me." He pushed his shopping cart down the aisle and began placing cans of baby food, diapers, and other baby items inside. Anita's eyes widened. "You don't have to buy so much," she said quickly, almost scared. "Just 1 can is okay. I don't want trouble." Mr. Edward didn't stop. He kept adding things, even some children's clothes and milk. When they got to the checkout, Anita kept looking around, worried someone would throw her out or accuse her of stealing. The cashier, seeing them together, raised an eyebrow. But Mr. Edward smiled and paid for everything without blinking. As they stepped outside the store, Anita looked up at him and said something that made him stop walking. "Sir, why are you helping me?" He turned slowly and looked at her. "Because I once had a sister who died of hunger and I couldn't save her. Maybe God sent you to remind me." Anita stood there in silence, her little arms wrapped around her brother, tears quietly falling from her eyes. Mr. Edward looked down at the little girl, and for a moment, he didn't see Anita. He saw a flash of his younger sister, Amara. She used to hold his hand like that when they were kids before everything went wrong. He took a deep breath and said, "Come on, I will drop you home." Anita hesitated. "We don't really have a home," she said quietly. That hit him hard. "What do you mean?" "We sleep at the back of Mama Kemi's kiosk. She let us stay there at night, as long as I help her sweep her shop every morning. But she says we can't stay for too long." Mr. Edward clenched his jaw. He didn't know what shocked him more, that a child this small was taking care of a baby, or that no one seemed to notice. No one had helped. "Have you eaten today?" he asked. Anita shook her head. "I gave the last bread to Junior." Mr. Edward didn't say another word. He led them back into the supermarket cafe and ordered jollof rice, grilled chicken, and a cold bottle of water. Anita stared at the food like it was a dream. She tried to feed her brother first, but Mr. Edward gently stopped her and said, "You eat, I will feed him." With trembling hands, Anita picked up the spoon and took small bites. Mr. Edward, holding the baby now, rocked him gently while giving him spoonfuls of warm baby cereal. For the first time in days, Junior smiled, and Mr. Edward felt something melt inside him. After the meal, he called his driver to cancel the rest of his meetings. "Sir," the driver asked, surprised. "Take me to the office. I need to cancel everything for the day. Something more important just came up." He turned to Anita. "Would you like to come with me to my office? Just for today. I have a place you both can rest." Anita's eyes darted around, full of uncertainty. She wanted to trust him, but how could she be sure? It wasn't like some of those men in the street who offered help only to harm. Seeing her hesitation, Mr. Edward reached into his wallet and handed her his business card. "Google my name. Ask anyone. I'm not a bad man. I just want to help." She looked at the shiny gold-lettered card that read, "Edward Nwoke, CEO, Nwoke Holdings." Her tiny lips trembled. "Okay, but can I come back if I feel scared?" Mr. Edward smiled gently. "Anita, you can leave anytime you want. I'm just opening my door. The choice is yours." She nodded slowly. And that's how a millionaire businessman, once known for his cold heart and business deals, found himself walking into his luxury office holding a baby, and accompanied by a little girl who had no idea that this moment would change both of their lives forever. But even Mr. Edward didn't know what was coming next, because what started as a kind gesture was about to turn into something much deeper, more complicated, and full of unexpected truths. The car ride to Mr. Edward's office was quiet. Anita sat at the edge of the leather seat, clutching her baby brother tightly, while glancing around the vehicle like she didn't belong. Her eyes were alert, ready to run if anything felt wrong. Mr. Edward noticed. He didn't try to make small talk. Instead, he pulled out his phone and sent a message to his personal assistant. "Clear my schedule. Bring a soft baby bed to my office and find a child therapist discreetly." By the time they arrived at the tall glass building marked Nwoke Holdings, the entire staff was buzzing. Everyone stared as Mr. Edward walked in. No files, just a baby in one arm and a barefoot girl by his side. "Sir, are you okay?" one of the managers asked in confusion. "I'm fine, but from now on, nobody enters my office unless I say so. Clear?" "Yes, sir." Inside the massive office, Anita stood frozen. The place was huge, bigger than any room she had ever seen. There were paintings on the wall, a large glass table, and couches softer than anything she had ever sat on. Mr. Edward noticed how tightly she held her baby brother. "Anita, you both can rest here. No one will disturb you. There's food, water, and a bathroom too. I just need to make a few calls." She nodded slowly, her eyes still scanning the room. As he stepped into the next room, Mr. Edward felt overwhelmed. He sat on the edge of his desk and rubbed his face. Something about that girl stirred emotions he hadn't felt in years. Maybe it was the strength in her eyes, or the way she was fighting to protect her brother. But then his phone rang. It was his younger sister, Daisy. "Brother, I just saw a photo of you and 2 kids trending on Facebook. What is going on?" "What do you mean trending?" he asked, confused. "Someone from your office took a picture and posted it. It's already viral. Billionaire Edward Nwoke spotted with stray children. That's what the caption says. He stood up in a rush. What? Who posted it? I don't know, but people are asking if you adopted them. Some are saying you finally found your long-lost child. Others are accusing you of using them for PR. Mr. Edward's chest tightened. He had tried to do something good and now people were twisting it. He rushed out of the room, heart pounding, only to find Anita sitting quietly on the floor. She was feeding Junior, who had started giggling. Anita said, "We may need to move you somewhere safer for now. People are starting to talk." Her smile dropped. "Did I do something wrong?" "No, never," I said quickly. "You didn't. But sometimes the world doesn't understand kindness. And some people don't like to see others happy." Just then, his assistant knocked and entered. "Sir, a woman just came to the gate claiming she knows the girl. She says she's her aunt." Mr. Edward froze. "What?" "She insists the girl belongs to her and demands to see them immediately." Anita's hands began to shake. No, she's lying," she cried. "That woman is not my aunt. She tried to take Junior away from me before." Mr. Edward looked from Anita to the assistant and back at the trembling girl. His instinct told him something wasn't right. "Don't let that woman in," he said firmly. But deep inside he knew this was only the beginning, because someone from Anita's past was knocking. And what they wanted was not love. Mr. Edward stood frozen for a moment, staring at the closed door. His heart was racing, not from fear, but from a strange mix of anger and worry. Who was this woman claiming to be Anita's aunt? And why now? He turned back to Anita, who was now visibly shaking. "I don't want to go with her," she whispered. "Please, uncle, please don't let her take us. She's dangerous. She used to beat my mom before she died. She tried to sell Junior once." Mr. Edward's chest tightened. "You are safe here, I promise," he said, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. But just then the door flung open without permission. Security had let the woman in. She was tall, loud, and wearing a tight wrapper and heavy makeup. She stomped into the office with fire in her eyes. "Where are they? Where are my sister's children? Give them to me now before I call police." Mr. Edward stood up sharply. "Excuse me, madam. Who exactly are you?" "I'm the aunt," she backed. "Their mama was my younger sister. When she died, the children became my responsibility. That girl ran away and has been hiding that baby from me." Anita grabbed Junior tighter and began to cry. "She's lying. She only wants to sell him again like she tried to do before." The woman turned on her. "You little witch. After everything I did for your mother?" Mr. Edward raised his voice. "Enough! This is my office. You do not barge in here and insult a child. If you truly care about these kids, prove it. Where have you been all this time? Do you have any legal custody? Any papers at all?" The woman was suddenly quiet. "Papers? I don't need papers. They are my blood." "That's enough." Mr. Edward turned to his assistant. "Call my lawyer and contact social services. Nobody's taking these children until we get to the bottom of this." The woman hissed loudly. "You think because you have money, you can steal people's children? You will hear from me." She stormed out, slamming the door. The room fell silent. Anita clutched her baby brother, tears pouring down her face, her whole body trembling. Mr. Edward went to her, knelt beside her and wrapped her in a hug. "I am sorry you had to go through that," he whispered. Just then his assistant returned. "Sir, there's more. A news reporter is downstairs. Someone leaked the story. They are saying you have secretly adopted 2 street children and may be hiding something." Mr. Edward's phone buzzed again, this time from the board of his company. The text read, "Mr. Edward, we need to talk. This situation is drawing too much attention. Are these children really your responsibility or a distraction?" He rubbed his forehead. This was spiraling out of control, fast. He looked at Anita again, and for the first time, he noticed something about her eyes. Those same soft, sad brown eyes from his childhood photos. Anita said slowly, "Do you know anything about your father?" She shook her head. "Mom never told me. She always cried when I asked." He stood up suddenly, heart pounding. "Do you have any photos of your mother?" Anita nodded and reached into the pocket of her faded dress. She pulled out an old folded photo, faded at the corners. He opened it and froze. It was a picture of a young woman, and he knew that face. She wasn't just anybody. She was his ex-girlfriend from university, Miriam. The girl he once loved deeply. The girl who left without saying goodbye. The girl who might have given birth to his child. Mr. Edward couldn't believe his eyes. That face in the photo, it was Miriam, the woman he once loved deeply. The one who vanished from his life without explanation. "Where did you get this picture?" he asked softly, trying to hold back the lump in his throat. Anita wiped her eyes. "It's my mommy. She kept this picture in her Bible. She said, if anything ever happened to her, I should look for someone named Edward, that he was a good man." He sat down slowly, heart pounding. All these years, and she never told him. He looked again at the photo, then back at Anita and Junior. His eyes welled with tears. "Anita, I think I might be your father." She stared at him, confused and overwhelmed. What do you mean?" He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he called his lawyer, ordered a discreet DNA test, and arranged full protection for Anita and Junior. The so-called aunt who barged in, she was later exposed for child trafficking and she was arrested. 2 days later, the DNA results arrived, and it was true. Anita was his biological child. Miriam had left after discovering she was pregnant, afraid of ruining his future as he built his company. She had chosen to raise the child alone, never seeking for help. She later got married to a man who didn't love her and gave birth to Junior. But life hadn't been fair to her. She had passed away from an untreated illness, and Anita had protected Junior with every drop of strength she had. Mr. Edward stood before both children with tears in his eyes. "I failed your mother, but I won't fail you." He adopted Junior legally and publicly acknowledged Junior as his son. The news that once threatened to ruin his reputation became a redemption story that touched millions. The board of his company that once questioned him now celebrated his humanity. His story trended again, not as a scandal, but as a headline that read, "From business tycoon to hero dad, the man who chose love over image." Anita was enrolled in one of the best schools in the city. Junior's health improved with proper care, and as for Mr. Edward, he transformed the wing of his mansion into a home filled with warmth, laughter, and bedtime stories. But what touched people the most was not his wealth. It was his willingness to listen, to protect, and to open his heart to 2 little souls who needed him the most. Moral lessons. Never ignore the quiet cries for help. You never know whose life you could change with a small act of kindness. Family is not just blood. Sometimes, those who stand with you in your darkest hour are the ones who deserve your heart. Use your power to lift others. The true measure of success is how many lives you have touched. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Jubosmiles TellTales for more powerful and emotional stories like this one. And tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were Mr. Edward? Every week we bring you deep emotional tales rooted in real-life African experiences. So join the family. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and never miss a story that speaks to your soul.